Good morning, good morning. In today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to cover a guide on all the different new ghost cards or free starter cards. And I'm just hopping onto a empty deck at the moment. If I go to my cards, okay, I've got 5 power, so I've got 1 card, which is a Gorgo Lion, so that's fine. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at each of the different ghost cards and how you can play them. So with fire, I'm going to go straight into it. With fire, there's 2 summoners that you can look into. You've got Tarsa, which is +1 melee damage, +1 health, and then or you go Pyre and you go +1 speed. So honestly, Pyre is not what you're going to pick. In most cases, you'll be picking up a Tarsa purely because you'd want the +1 HP and the +1 damage, and you're going to be playing fire with a heavy melee focused, where if you're going to play ranged, and if, like, for example, it's no melee matchup, if you look at the ranged cards on fire, you've only got 1 magic card available. You do have a close range card, and then you've got a few archers, but typically you have very low speed, 1, 2, 1, and then you'll have high speed but then very low HP, which is 4 HP and then 1 HP. So even if you have a Pyre, it's very rare that you'd actually use one. So when it comes to Pyre and speed, the main things that you want your speed for are your assassins. So in this case, it would be your cards with opportunity or strike. So for example, if you were to get this guy to level 2, you can then get an extra speed, and a Pyre at the moment would cost you $9, where to get a level 2 Seminar. Oh, she's still $4, but she will go down in price. I think it'll eventually be that to get a level 2, it will be cheaper than just buying a level 1 Pyre. So I wouldn't worry too much about it for now. But all I'm saying is it's cheap to upgrade your cards for the speed and then get the +1 damage, +1 HP, then to go Pyre, Serpent Spy. So for fire, the way I would play the deck is it depends on how much mana, but in most cases, if not all cases, you're going to be relying on your Living Lava to be your main tank. If it's low mana, like 4 or little minions, then you'll be playing Ant Platoon. But ideally, you can play Living Lava, your Striker for the sneak, your Serpent Spy for the opportunity, and then anything else is a luxury. So what you're going to be looking at is 11 mana, 16, 19. So at 19 mana, this is what you're playing. Your Living Lava, your Serpent Spy, and then your Striker at the back. And then anything else is basically a luxury. If it's very high mana, you might put a Molten Ash Golem in position 2, or a Jinn Apprentice. But let me just show you an example here. We have our Tarsa, we have a Living Lava, we then have our Striker to kill the backline, and then we just have a filler to basically take hits from stealth. So let's just see how it does. Okay, so this is going to be annoying. But he takes 0 damage from these 2 thanks to his shield, and then because we gave them 1 HP, this can then take 2 shots from the Stitch Lich, which is great. But unfortunately, we're going to have to eat through this whole big mountain, and he's taking damage from the mage. So let's just see how much we can get done. But you can see it's slowly plowing through. And then the strike will beat this. So easy game. And now this is where it gets a little bit weird. Okay, so now we're going to do water. It's going to be a little bit more weirder because typically in all of my previous guides, water is heavily magic focused. It still is, but not with these summoners. You'd have to use different imported summoners. But if you use these summoners, it's okay. If you know that the enemy likes to spam Earth or other magic decks, you might want to play your Bortus and get the -1 damage. But typically, with the way that Earth is set up right now, you want to be playing Kyla. So the way she'll work is same thing. You'll play it very similar to how you played your fire. The only difference is that if you guys can spend a little bit of money and buy a few other tanks, because this tank, while it's got good damage, good speed, it's got very low HP. And then this tank, really good, but I don't really like trample, because trample plus 2 damage is not ideal. So rather invest and get some additional reward tanks. I'll make another video about that later. But basically what you want to do is you go your +1 speed, your +1 armor. You can definitely play the Shark over Serpent of Ede, just because it does a better job at being a frontline tank. If it's like a ton of mana, you can play the Flying Squid in position 2. He'll be really good. But then you want to play your Deep Lurker, your Feasting Seaweed. So these cards will benefit from the speed bonus plus the armor. And then in the back, you can either throw in something quiet, like this is just good because it's a really good backline to fight against stealth cards, because it's got 5 HP. 1 damage is quite mediocre, but for 3 mana it's good enough. And then you'll look into other things such as your Swim Hunter, your Narwhal. There's not too many magic cards in the free cards, so you might have to invest to buy a few more. But the way you'd start this deck is you play your Kyla or the Bortus depending on what you think the enemy's going to play. Ideally though, in most cases you'll play your Kyla, you'll play your Shark in position 1, Flying Squid in position 2, Deep Lurker, Feasting Seaweed, and then something at the back just to plug you up to protect your Feasting Seaweed or your Deep Lurker. So something like this frog, and I'm going to show you guys a game right now. This one's going to be interesting because we got a mirror match. Okay, so what's happened is he's gone for magic damage, I've gone for an opportunity and then 1 melee damage, and then I went for the Demon Shark and he went for the Spirit of Ede. So hopefully we both made the right choice, or I made the right choice rather. But let's see how this goes. The miss already. 2 misses. Oh dear. Cool. Trample activated. That's a good thing. Well, there you go. So with Earth, it's very, very simple. Eastwood used to have a purpose to fight against Protect, which was dominated by Wavesmiths and Water. But now it's transitioned off that a lot. So now what you want to be playing is your Obsidian. But there'll be some times that, like maybe in a Protect game, you'll take this off. Or in a no magic game, obviously, if it's no magics allowed, then don't ever pick Obsidian, rather get this and then get a free extra mana. But basically, in most cases, you're going to pick your Unicorn Mustang as your position 1, Void, really strong, 3 damage, 10 HP, very, very strong tank. Pick him in position 1, and then position 2, I like to play the Regal, because 1 magic damage plus 1, 2 magic damage, 6 HP is very, very good. And then after that, you can then put in luxuries. Or it depends on how much mana you have, but then you'd be looking at things like your Princess, and then sometimes your Psychic. And then if there's still leftover mana after these 2, you can then play something like your Goblin Thief or your Child of the Forest, just to be the backline plug. So this is going to be an interesting one, because he's gone the anti-armor and I've gone the magic damage, but he's gone super long, I've gone just these 2 cards. So I think actually this card is pretty nutty, I should look into it more. But let's see how this goes. Good misses from the high speed. Yeah, that's the second miss. That's the third. Yeah, this high speed's doing wonders for us. We got super lucky, I guess. But he'll take no damage from that, and then that's the game. Okay guys, you're not gonna like this, but it's the truth. And the truth is, for life, right now, if you only have these starter cards, do not play General Sloan. Like, he doesn't have a good win rate compared to the other summoners. I would actually advise you not to play Life in general, but if you are going to play Life or you've got a Life quest, this is how I would play it. So ignore General Sloan. He kind of baits you into playing archers, and archers, when you only have free cards in bronze, are not good. So what you want to do is you want to play your Mother Kala, get that +1 HP, and then for your tank, you want to play your Shield Bearer. And then after your Shield Bearer, you basically want to play Stealth and Opportunity. So very similar to how we play Fire and Water, except this summoner is far worse than the other summoners because they give you the +1 HP, plus a damage or plus a speed for 1 extra mana, where Mother Kala doesn't do that. So not the best option, but this is the only one we have. But you basically want to play your tank like your Shield Bearer. Then if you have a lot of extra mana, you want to play your Luminous Eagle. You can play Chaos Knight, but for 2 mana more, you get way more armor and way more health. So preferably go with this. But you can go your Luminous Eagle, position 2. Then you've got your Stitch Leech. Then you'll have your Cave Slug. And then at the back, you would then put in, you can even play in a Crystal Harpy. But basically at the back, whatever's left, you might just play a Herbalist. You might play a Lone Boatman. You might play a True Seer, just something at the back to be your plug, to protect you from stealth and basically just delay yourself. So you protect yourself in the front, average in the middle, and then just lots of opportunity and then sneak cards. This is how you can play it. Time Mage if you want, but you don't have anything to give armor, so the 3 HP is quite weak, so it's up to you. I'm trying this General Sloan build because I think what works quite nicely is having the taunt and then having this guy that does 6 damage with, if he has the speed to hit it. So this guy's caught. Okay, so we've got very similar strategies, except I've gone for the taunt and he has not. So let's see if that actually makes the difference. I'm hoping that this Life Leech can break through the armor twice and hit it. Okay, so that's 1 hit. We just need one more round. We gotta get 1 more round out of this. Oh shit. 1 more round. Yes! Okay, cool. So his one's dead now. So now I think we win. Because our one will attack twice. Oh no. Wow, that's really unlucky. And yeah, easy win. Okay, moving on to Death. This is how I would play Death. So when you look at Death, it's either you go negative archers or you go negative magic plus negative HP. So if it's a choice between these two, pick the Brood, because most people play magic, and then more importantly, even if they don't play magic, you can still take away 1 HP from all of their cards, which is fantastic. And the way you want to play this is, if you feel like they're going to play more magic or only magic, play your Bone Golem and then get the Void plus -1, so you technically have -2 magic damage, which is really strong. Bone Golem itself is not a bad tank, but if you think that you've got enough with just -1 magic damage, you can pick your Curse Windoku, and he has Thorns, so he'll protect himself better against melee cards. In position 2, once again, you kind of do these things where you play, I like to play these 5 like mana cost sneak cards, and then at the back you can then fill it with things like your Life Zapper and your Death Elemental, and then even oh, not available, Dark Astronomer at the back to plug it up. Bad speed, but 2 damage, 4 HP, very good. Okay, so now we're doing our Death, and we've got the Windoku. Okay, I'm a bit confused with the opponent. He went the Shield Bearer, and then he went the Jhin, but I don't understand why he chose the Summoner, because there's no archers, so we'll see how this goes. But same thing, we got our big tank at the front, we have our 2 stealths to attack the back, and then just a filler at the back to protect it from stealth. Unfortunately, we won't be able to use the stealths because we're all going to be attacking the taunt, but that's okay. This taunt will melt like butter. And easy win.
So please like and subscribe and let me know in the comments what you want me to do next. And if you're a new player, please use the promo code and I'll happily send you the $0.5 back to you. It just lets me know that people are watching and using the promo, and I'm helping new players join the community. Also, if you find me on the Discord, just pop me a message. I'll happily delegate any of the new players some power